Hey guys, it's me, Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark, here with Marc Caputo. We're going to talk about all things exhaustion, which I am. I don't know, Marc, are you exhausted?
I think I'm exhausting you. You give me energy, though, Sam.
Yeah, well,
You give me energy.
yes, it's a double whammy. The
You're like my
campaign is
son.
exhausting
You
in
know.
its own right, and then I have to deal with you. Um, we're going to talk about Trump and exhaustion because that seems to be the story of the day.
Yep.
Um, Look, I think it's a worthwhile story because we've all seen, watched the speeches. The question is, I think it's indisputable that he's exhausted. The question is why. And Mark, you've got some new reporting that I want to unpack, and then we could go through some of the other surrounding elements of it. But tell us about the reporting you have.
Yeah, I think the answer to why is because he's a human being. He did like 28 events in 18 days. He doesn't sleep really. He's done 21 interviews since the beginning of the month. He's flown to 26 cities and across 12 states. That's going to
Right.
exhaust everyone. A guy starts the day in the morning and he sometimes ends after midnight. And instead of sleeping on his plane, which no one really can do, everyone kind of stays awake, including him. And he's on True Social, like posting after midnight. Like,
Yeah,
not
what
really.
is? Tell me. Let's just drill down on this. Like
Yeah.
he's got these proclivities and these idiosyncrasies, and he how does he just operate like that? Like that doesn't seem normal. It would. I don't think it is normal. Um,
It's Trump. I mean.
yeah, it's like tell us more about how he operates like that.
From talking to a variety of people on the campaign and people who have flown with him, weren't just on the campaign, the guy is just constantly moving. And
Right.
he has this sort of I'll sleep when I'm dead attitude in the final days of the campaign trail. So even though Air Force, or better said, Trump Force One, his plane, the
You're right.
Boeing 757 he has a bunch of beds and couches, or a bunch of couches and a bed, he won't lie down and sleep, and basically no one will. And once in a while, when he sleeps, apparently he'll sleep sitting straight up and just head chin down and micro nap a bit. But that's not really quality sleep. This is just
Right.
how he is. He's just all go all the time. And this is what you get on the campaign trail. Sometimes the guy looks really exhausted.
I'll be honest. Like you need sleep, right? Like when I have to wake up early to do a TV show, I'm taking a power nap. I'm not afraid to say it. I will take like a pretty good power nap, maybe two. And I'm not trying to like excuse Trump or anything like that. I'm just being honest about it. When you have those types of hours, you need sleep. He's 78, right?
He's 78, but the thing is that you're able to admit that you're a human being. Part of Trump's whole mythos is that he's like
Right.
this exceptional ubermensch, right? And
Right.
therefore, sleep is like weakness. And admitting that the guy's tired after 28 days for his campaign is just out of the question. So
And
even
what does that
though,
do to the staff? Like, does the staff have to also just plow through?
yes, the,
Oh God.
as best we can tell, only one guy is flying around with him all the time. That's Taylor Budowich, who turns 35 next week, right? So basically, the guy who can keep up with him is less than half of his age.
The reason that this is in the news now, not just because there was a political story yesterday that um, quoted someone anonymously saying, "Hey, he's exhausted," and that's why he's canceled this interview on a podcast called The Shade Room. The reason it's in the news now is because I think with our own eyes and ears, we've observed that his behavior has gotten more erratic. Let's play first the clip of him dancing at an event. It was a Q&A. Basically, two people in the hall had medical issues because of the heat. He just kind of stopped the Q&A and then was like, you know what, I'm going to play my playlist. And this is what happened.
Put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it up louder. We want a little action here. Turn it up louder.
And then last night, this is not because, of anything that he did, but there was a technical difficulty with a microphone at a rally in Detroit. And it just kind of irritated him. You could see for like 19
Oh
minutes, he
yeah.
was just kind of wandering the stage. I mean, he was just like, didn't know what to do. Let's play that one.
It's not respect.
All right, so you have these two things, and it's like that on top of all this other stuff is creating this impression that he is kind of coming a little bit more unhinged. But you've observed him. Are those speeches, are these moments more pronounced than they've been in the past?
Oh, clearly. I think the first thing, especially the Monday episode, you and I talked about it at the time. I was just like, this
Yeah.
guy's just fucking tired, right?
Yeah.
You could just tell, like he's doing his town hall, and then someone passes out, and he's like, "What do we do? Oh, let's play Ave Maria." Then, then, then he takes three
As
more
one
questions.
does.
Yeah, correct. Like, who doesn't? And then someone else passes out. And then at that point, you could just see the light go out of his eyes. He's like, you know what? Screw it. Like, it's, time for the dance party. And he was having a good time.
But the weird part to me was like maybe a song or two, but he went on for like
40
39
minutes.
minutes.
But that's one of the signs of like being exhausted. Like at a certain point, you're just like, time is sort of meaningless, right? So that's where he is. That's
where going to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember. It's on the way there to Oaks, Pennsylvania from Arizona between Sunday and Monday. Like at 12:48 in the morning, he's on Truth Social posting about this new show, The Apprentice, and he's shit posting about how terrible it is, even though people have told him.
That's the funny thing to me is like the response from the Trump campaign to this storyline that he's exhausted is like, oh, no, look at him. He's up early. He's up late. He's on TV. He's doing these podcasts. And it's like, yes,
that's why he's tired.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm looking at him like he seems really tired. Like just throwing him out there like a horse, running another race doesn't make him less tired. Like this is just. Right. But we're in this stretch now where they have to do that, right? Like
he's gonna power through. Yeah, it's power through. And I think in the story I probably paid short shrift and we didn't have the time, but like these objects, these phones keep you awake. Also, the blue light. So, like, if you don't have the discipline to put the thing down and put your head down and go to sleep, you can maybe wind up at a town hall bebopping for 40 minutes to YMCA and other associated hits.
Yeah. I worked for Ariana Huffington. She was big into the unplug to recharge idea. You got to get those phones away from you if you want to sleep. This is truth.
You do?
And Trump does not seem like the type of guy who's like, you know what, I'm going to put my phone in a different room tonight because I want to just have the aura of, calm around me. That doesn't seem like his type of speed.
Calm is weakness.
So why? I guess I want to talk a little bit about the reaction from the campaign to this storyline. Because first of all, I found some of it really despicable because they went after someone who I hold dear, Eugene Daniels, in incredibly homophobic ways, just posting pictures of him that were nasty and totally unnecessary because what he wrote is true. But secondly, from a meta standpoint, the sensitivity that they have around this is particular and notable because they were just on top of it yesterday, pushing back hard. I expect you're going to get a version of that today, even though your piece is incredibly nuanced. Why are they so sensitive to this?
This is the thing is the candidate's aura is built around this sort of invincible, untiring, unconquerable guy, right? 2 assassination attempts, indictments, convictions, everything they've thrown at him, he's still going. And so for the media to pick up this narrative just deeply bothers them because they also think, and yes, politics is unfair, that it's unfair because when you tally up everything, he's outworking Kamala Harris. So their attitude is, how come you're not talking about like what a lazy work schedule she's got in comparison? But we are what we are.
And that is true. Like he's doing a ton of events. Again, we're not disputing that. He's up late. He's up early. Like he's doing a ton of stuff. His events have become far more tailored to a specific audience and less challenging in some respects. And so, like, is that part of is that more like a politically strategic decision or is that like trying to manage the workload decision?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, in the end, they want to make sure that a lot of the campaign is built around making sure that the candidate is in a good mental headspace. A lot of campaigns are, but Trump's is especially. And so they don't want him sitting down in a challenging interview and just blowing his back. like he sort of did with 60 Minutes, 4 years ago. And now he won't do 60 Minutes as a result of that interview previously, albeit they've got complaints about the way in which facts were presented. So, yeah, they're not interested in doing that. Now, there is an exception to this, which is these long-form podcast interviews. Again, 21 interviews
Yeah.
in 18 days. 7 of them are on
Some of them
podcast.
are like an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours. They're insane. He's just sitting there
Right.
forever.
They've made that gamble that, okay, he's going to be with like comedians like Andrew Schultz. He is going to kind of let it all hang out and talk to them and take the itinerant risks.
What was the one he did the other day? The Florida guy who was you hit me up because it was the guy with DeSantis in the boots.
Oh, Patrick David.
Yes.
Pardon
Okay.
me.
So
TBD.
I turned into that podcast and I was just watching it and I was just like, when is this ending? Like, when is this? He just went
keep
on
going.
and on
Yeah.
and on.
Yeah.
I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes, and he just kept talking and talking. I was like, people have to understand, like, the most precious commodity for any campaign is time. Like, that's just it. The candidate's time. And to spend that much time sitting in an interview like that is a huge gamble. But then I was thinking to myself, I've been, again, just kind of personalizing this, and look, I'm not like, laying brick or anything, but like I've been on TV sets for 2 hours and I left and I'd be like, oh my God, get me out. Like, I'm so tired. Again, I'm a big weakling. But like, for Trump to do that, I'm not trying to say like this is exhausting stuff, but like that is a gamble that they made, is to have him sit and talk for 2 hours. And then he does these rambling, campaign stops for another hour and a half. And it's like, that is exhausting. It is.
100%, and it's not stopping. So today on Sunday, he's got an interview with WWE.
Well, today's Saturday, but that's
is it Saturday? Oh, Jesus! See, I'm tired, just like lying in my bed listening to the guy, right? Like, it is like 2 full-time jobs just to listen to the podcast and the speeches, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But okay, so whatever day this is, I think today or tomorrow, he's got an interview with the Undertaker, the pro wrestling figure. His podcast is 6 feet deep. The Undertaker, that's the pun. So
we get it. Yeah.
Get it. So it continues, and I've never seen a campaign in all my decades of covering campaigns do this, because on one hand, they want to keep the candidate away from situations where he's going to screw something up, and then on the other hand, he's going to sit and talk to someone for an hour and a half. And I mean, I've undoubtedly missed things he said in there, which are probably headlines. All of us have, and maybe that's it.
On that podcast, on that podcast I was just talking about, it was an hour and 40 minutes, and then literally, like, the last thing he said, almost, or maybe one last thing he says, is Zelensky should never have allowed that war to start. After an hour and 40 minutes, and that was like the big news. It's like, wait, you blame Zelensky for Russia invading his country? And I'm not saying that's because of exhaustion, but you do amplify the amount of fuck-ups you can have when you sit down for an hour and 40 minutes and you just talk.
Yeah.
It's just not disciplined.
It must be like therapy, I guess, as well. Like, you get it all off your chest.
I'm sure he loves it. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm exhausted. I need more coffee. Marc doesn't know what day it is. I have kids screaming upstairs. Everyone's really tired. We need to get to bed. Marc, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Everyone should go check out his piece. We just posted it Saturday morning on the Bulwark. Subscribe to us there and subscribe to our YouTube page. Thanks, bud.